Well, it's been a long time since I made any sort of video or commentary on the Raiders. I have made comments on the team, but I feel very urgent about making a comment right now. A lot of Raider fans won't like, other people think would be ridiculous. They'll start thinking, oh, you're going to ruin the locker room, or some sort of other stupid thing. Okay, we're on Raiders.com, and we are at the depth chart. And as we see, this is the Raiders depth chart on offense. We're going to focus on wide receiver. Zay Jones tries very hard, but he is no number one wide receiver. Deshaun Jackson is, when he's not trying to avoid getting hit, he will not fight for the ball. He's no Michael Crabtree. He's no Andre Holmes. We're related to like Carr, who likes to throw the ball up, wants his receivers to go jump. Even Henry Thugs. Henry Thugs would fight for the ball more than Deshaun Jackson. And Henry Thugs was much faster than Deshaun Jackson. Derek Carr did underthrow him. Yes. Derek Carr is known to do that, and I think he does it on purpose. But Deshaun Jackson can't fight for the ball. Who else do we have here? Maybe send Alex Leatherwood out for a pass. Okay, Darren Waller, he's not allowed to play because they haven't invented any sort of COVID rule that would allow him to play. Because first of all, he'd have to play for another team, for the NFL, to come up with a special COVID rule to allow him to play. So he's either hurt, sick, I guess he's dying or whatever. You know, you got they keep these people out of the games with COVID. A lot of people don't understand. I'm no virologist, but I've definitely done my research. And any one of you can go look up Carrie Mullis. I believe that's his name. He invented one of the testing kits, the main one they use to test for COVID. And as he points out very simply in his videos, not only that Fauci is full of shit and he doesn't know what he's talking about, he said this 25 years ago. Think about that. But the test for COVID or any virus is not, it's not really cut and dry. It's not like you test it, okay, you got it. Like he points out, like, you know, Fauci thinks you can stick some blood under a microscope and then tell someone has a virus. But that's not how it works. It's open to an interpretation. They could have many other things, but it just happens to be in vogue to call everything COVID. I mean, take a look around. Anyone who's old as me would remember that this time of the year, from October all the way through the winter, the television and now the internet would be inundated with cough and cold flu medications. You do not see that anymore right now. You notice that? Everything is just COVID. Everyone has, it's going to be COVID. If a person get hit by a truck, they died of COVID. Hospitals do get money for that too. Special incentives from the federal government. That should be looked into. But whatever the case, Darren Waller can't play because he might as well have no legs. Because he's not going to play because of COVID. Maybe he can be back next week. I don't know. Next on the list, Brian Edwards. What can you say about him? I swear, ever since Henry Thugs decided to have a barbecue, Brian has sucked. Maybe Henry helped him in many ways by giving him, you know, better options where he wasn't being covered by maybe the fastest DB. I don't know. All I know is he can't catch anymore. Uh, he's not very good. What can you say about Hunter Renfrow? He is incredible. That is not my stomach doing that sound. Apparently have some sort of a ground loop going on. Okay, Hunter Renfrow catches everything that comes his way, pretty much. Including yesterday, the game winner, basically. But Hunter, and he would probably admit this himself, although he's got bigger and stronger, he takes some nasty hits. He doesn't have the exact body type where his wingsman, even though he jumps up and he fights for the ball, he definitely does all that. He's really not what you'd call a number one outside wide receiver that has elite speed and a great catch radius, if you will. So there's limitations there. But Hunter Renfrow is a keeper, definitely. I'm giving Hunter Renfrow a contract way before I give Josh Jacobs, who just seems to be injured all the time. At one point yesterday, I thought they should have just elevated Jalen Rashad to number one. Peyton Barber wasn't really getting it done. Jalen can do basically what Josh Jacobs was basically doing. Because half the time he was just, getting injured. Jalen is prone to fumbles, though. And if you look at the backups to these wide receivers, they're not even listing them on here. If I know them, some of the ones they just called up, one of them I can't remember, number 17, who almost fumbled or muffed the ball, whatever, on a kickoff, was a punt, I don't know. But the other one, who's made a lot of mistakes too, a lot of penalties, what's his name? The one that all these people liked in okay, Tyron Johnson, he's the number 17. And the other guy is, where is he? He's no longer on the team? You know the guy I'm talking about. White wide receiver. I don't think he's caught a pass. He should have been on this list. Maybe he was cut. I don't know. Anyway, he's garbage too. He's not fast enough, he can't catch, he makes lots of mistakes. Like a lot of these Raider players, with all the penalties and stuff. A lot of the NFL does. Cater to the Raiders penalty chart. They help out a bit. There's always these phantom penalties. We could talk hours for that, on that. But I'm saying, and this will be an unpopular opinion, that we have a playoff game coming up Sunday night. Sunday night in Vegas. Elvis is going to sing the national anthem, by the way. This mentally ill crackhead, Antonio Brown, should be re-signed. Now some people are going to be like, but Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock? Mike Mayock? What has he done? Let's talk about the Raiders front office, which the NFL is thinking about infiltrating, taking over, because they're so pathetic. I mean, just look how many number one draft picks, first round draft picks rather, they've totally messed up on. And they claim that they want all these nice plays, nice family plays. Has anyone looked at the Raiders' history? Right now, they're celebrating on Raiders site, John Madden. He sat there and let the players beat the players, whatever personality they wanted. He had very few rules. Everyone's seen him, the videos he's done back when he was with the Raiders as the coach, and it was echoed through what's his name, Tom Flores, during his era. They had very simple rules. Show up for practice, show up for the game, and do whatever it takes to win. That is it. They didn't get into their personal life. They didn't like get into their politics, anything like that. And does anyone really think that the Raiders didn't have some bad apples on their team? Like criminal behavior type. How about John Matuzak? He checks all the boxes as far as like criminal. He got arrested with a gun before. What did his former coach, I can't remember his name, you can picture him, say about Grant or something? When he was with, I think, the Eagles. He said he was having the breakfast of champions, vodka and Valium. So he's dabbling in drugs. He's carrying around a gun, even though he can probably beat most men to a pulp. It's really crazy, crazy size and crazy mentality. And that's the other part he checks. The guy is insane. Google John Matuzak. I forget what the interviewer was. It could have been Dick Cavett. Might have been Mike Douglas. I don't know. It's after the Caveman movie. It's Ringo Starr. It's Barbara Bach, his wife. He's on the set. Just watch him. The guy's insane. Completely insane. Then there was another guy that came a little later, even though he was playing at the same time for other teams, including the Broncos. Lyle Zato. Completely insane. Certifiable. 3 Mile Isle. 3 Mile Lyle. Completely insane. Otis Sistrom appeared to be a little crazy. Who else? I don't know if Dave Casper was really that crazy, but there's some other ones. I'm trying to think of the ones that actually won a Super Bowl. Because you could name some other crazy ones. Michael Crabtree, total crackhead. But perfect for Derek Carr. He'd fight for the ball. But they've had a history of having people like that. I'm forgetting some players off the top of my head. I know there's some other, really crazy ones. I just named a couple. But what does that have to do with anything? Let's see. Fred Biletnikov's daughter was killed in domestic violence, and all of a sudden the homosexual owner of the Raiders, which I suspect is homosexual, he's very lispy, he doesn't want any bad people on the team. Who wouldn't want Bill Romanowski back to break what's his name? Horsemouth. The other Horsemouth. Shannon Sharp's elbow. Who wouldn't want to see him do that to any number of the Chargers? Do it to the quarterback. This is not a nice game. This is a violent game. If these guys weren't playing football, the vast majority of them who dropped out of college and weren't even qualified for anything to go to college, and they never even went to high school, basically. If you ever went to a high school that had football players, didn't have to go to class. These guys would be criminals. They'd be common criminals. Get over it. Antonio Brown comes from a very bad part of Miami, I believe. Total criminal. He would be selling ethanol if he wasn't rewarded so much by the NFL. It's not about money. It's about the show. This is Vegas. To me, you bring him in. Come on, look what you have on your roster right now. Derek Carr is getting killed, and he's getting criticized for making bad decisions when it's not Madden. It's not a video game. It happens extremely fast. He's got not too many people to throw to. I'm sorry, but Zay Jones, he tries. He is playing way above his grade right now, Zay Jones. But the Raiders do not run the ball well. They need another wide receiver. And I'm telling you, Deshaun Jackson isn't it. In fact, he's totally cuttable. Oh yeah, that's great. The cleats he wanted to wear, that's fine. But I'm saying he's not getting it done. The Raiders' offensive line can't hold long enough. There's not really a running game, and there's not really a threat. It reminds me of, it's like they have a half a running back here and a half a running back and a quarter running back here. They don't have like one complete running back, like Indianapolis had yesterday. Even though he's not good for like passing or whatever. They definitely don't have a Marcus Allen. And I've said it many times when Josh Jacobs was drafted. Of course, he wants to continue to think he is Barry Sanders. He wants to dance around. What happens when you dance around? You stand there. You're getting hit soon. That's why he has all these injuries. He doesn't know how to protect himself. Remember Marcus Allen? He would get the ball and he would just dive forward. He would just get those couple extra yards. He didn't always get that many yards, but he protected himself. And arguably, he's the best running back the Raiders ever had. Sorry, Bo Jackson was a distraction. I might be in the minority there, but him coming to the Raiders halfway through the season, and every time he went on the field, you knew he was getting the ball. There was no ifs, ands, buts about it, and the Raiders' offense sucked. It's too predictable. Because he really wasn't good as a running back. Just running the ball occasionally. But if the defense knew that that's what was going to happen, they would stop him oftentimes. He had a lot of losses, if you remember. People just remember the big runs. But he could get stopped a lot. He was too predictable. And the Raiders never won anything with him. Let's face it. But Antonio Brown. Yes, is he a total crackhead? Yes. Did he go to the Raiders and check out their defense and say, this team sucks? Yes. That's what he did. Are the Raiders any better? I don't know. Are they any better on defense? Yesterday they almost blew the whole game. They allowed Indianapolis just go right down the field, score a touchdown, take the lead, and kicking the ball out of bounds. They're really undercoached right now. Versace is really just doesn't look like he's there, and he's not making any decisions like Gruden. Definitely not. I don't think he's motivating the team in any way. I think he's staying out of their business, and they like that. And I don't think he is worth a hire because I don't really think he's a head coach. But one problem, I wish that Gruden was still around, because Gruden would be looking at Antonio Brown right now. And he'd be willing to fight to get him back. Say, look, he liked the team. He saw how easily he could beat them in practice. Okay, try to beat San Diego. They got a pretty good defense. Rays got destroyed by San Diego, and they need to do something right now. If they don't, they're just going to lose. It's going to be very hard to beat San Diego. Yes, they can sit there and remember. I see one of the videos. I haven't listened to it yet, watched it. About, what Bosa said about Carr. Throws up into a ball. I see him taking some pretty good hits. And his offensive line doesn't protect him that much. And he's got to have something to throw to. sorry, but he doesn't have anyone to throw to. They're not getting open. You can sit there and watch the film or whatever, and you can, yes, you will find areas where he threw the interception yesterday where I think on the interception or the near interception, he could have threw it to Hunter Renfro up on the left side. Yeah, you're going to find, like, certain situations where there's someone wide open and he misses it. But he does not have the same wide receivers that Tom Brady has, that Aaron Rodgers has. And that's another thing. Next year, all these Madden Raider fans are going to be like, this is who we're going to have to draft. We need another wide receiver. When was the last time they actually drafted a wide receiver that worked out? What, Tim Brown? I could argue Tim Brown was no good in cold games. Sometimes you have to play in cold games. He was no good in the snow. And guess what? If the Raiders win next Sunday, they're going to have to play in some cold games. They might have to go to New England. They might have to go, to Kansas City. Antonio Brown has played in some cold games. So they're going to draft, you're just going to draft another Henry Thugs, who's totally failed. Yeah, Hunter Renfro was drafted. Rays had to, I think, trade up a bit for him. I was seeing it at the time. I was like, they have to get this guy. This guy is the one they need as far as like a clutch player. Because the Patriots will totally get this guy. He is total cut out for Patriots. So next year, I don't want to get too far ahead, but they need to give up a couple. If they franchise tag Green Bay, Devontae Adams, they need to give up two number 1 picks to Green Bay to get Devontae Adams. We need to start to think like Al would have picked things. Right now, Al Davis would want Antonio Brown on the team. He didn't care about any GM because he never had a GM. He was the GM, or the manager, the general partner, or general partner, whatever you call it. That is one of the problems with the Raiders. They have a meathead at the top in Mark Davis. He is nothing like his father. He's apparently very stupid, lispy, a panderer, panders to anything. He was against the players when they were kneeling, and then he was for them, and now he's doing commie fist bumps for Madden. The guy is mentally ill. This is entertainment or whatever, but it is a war as well. Al Davis would be in the bunker right now. With the red phone and the overhead projector and the mimeograph. Mark Davis is probably at Hooters right now. He's probably not up yet, but he'll be at Hooters later. Probably goes there for breakfast, though. He should not be making football decisions. And neither should Mike Mayock. I mean, look what they did after Henry Thugs had his barbecue. After they had the barbecue, it was all over the news what happened. It was pretty obvious he was speeding like crazy based on just looking at the cars. Instead of addressing the team's immediate need right there, but making a trade, they sat there and twiddled their thumbs and decided afterwards to sign Deshaun Jackson. Instead of try to trade for someone. That's just a wide receiver. It could be, you just trade for, maybe a right tackle. The Raiders have been very bad. Their guards are bad. Their tackle is bad, except for Colton Miller. And, Even the center, he's got some growing to do. So, they had like problems. They could have addressed some things. They could have given up some draft picks or whatever, but they don't want to do anything like that. They sat there and we're gonna have to like gather all the facts. I mean, get out of bed. I mean, wake up. The trade deadline was coming right up, and they did nothing. And let's not forget what they've been drafted. In the Raiders draft, I mean, did they even show it on this side? I want to really search around. Transactions might tell everything. Don't remember when it happened. October, right? I find that cornerback. What's his name? Damon Arnett. Wait. He was selected in the first round, wasn't he? And to me, that was just a convenience because he was kind of like that other guy they had, Conley. He was just soft. He was a soft zone player, not like the type of players they wanted. But they drafted him anyway. But they traded up then. Or one of them. But what are you going to do? You're going to just sit around and... Dylan Stoner, that was the other wide receiver I was thinking of. It was awful. Just... They don't have anyone that gets open except Renfro. Zay Jones, you could say too. But you need more than that when you don't have a running game, a legitimate running game. So what happens? They run Jacobs, he gets hurt, he's taken off the field, and totally changed the complexity when he is taken out of the game. Next guy up, doesn't do as well, and then it just stagnates things. Some of the play calling yesterday is frustrating. But they can't get open. The receivers are not getting open because they can't protect Carr long enough. They need someone else, shifty wide receiver, to get open. And I'm saying they need Antonio Brown. You can say, no, he's a headache. You know what's a headache? Losing for a couple decades. Because really, the Raiders haven't won since Reagan was in office. Think about it. That was 1984. That was the world was going to blow up. That's war games. That was the era from back then. Now we're dying of COVID, I guess. The COVID plague. But this is Vegas, and they want to remember John Madden. How about remembering Al Davis? And let's remember, you would just remember John Madden as well. They would want the best players possible on the team, and right now they have holes. They have a hole at wide receiver. Wide receiver just came available. I see no problem. Was Mayock going to cry? Fire him. Who cares? Just win, baby.